I was Emily's sycophant. For 3 years in high school, I went to great lengths to please her. The fate of a sycophant is to end up with nothing. It came true. My indulgence towards her became a death warrant for the Smith family. She and her mother leached off me, using my affection for her to swindle away all my family's assets. They meticulously planned to harm my parents for a hefty insurance payout, eventually setting fire to our villa, burning my parents alive. And I was deceived into going to a 100-meter-high building, only to be ruthlessly pushed off by her. As I fell, I was filled with regret. If there were a next life, I would make sure this woman paid the price. Perhaps the heavens pitied me, for I was reborn. Reborn in my senior year of high school. At this time, I was still a wealthy second generation. Looking at myself in the mirror, I swore that in this life, I would never be a sycophant. Moreover, I would make Emily pay the price.
What are you doing? Get up and tidy yourself. My Emily doesn't like sloppy boys.
As I was immersed in the joy of rebirth, Emily's mother, Linda, frowned and pushed the door open. She held a bowl of bird's nest soup, stuffing large mouthfuls into her mouth.
By the way, this bird's nest soup is really good. Your mom bought some foreign health supplements a few days ago. Give some to me. Emily said that if I'm happy, she will be happy.
Do you know what to do?
Linda, Emily's mother, was originally gaunt and emaciated before coming to our house. In just 1 year, she became plump and well-fed, thanks to my constant indulgence. Besides her regular salary, I would always give her extra benefits, just to please my future mother-in-law. Looking at her disgusting face, her arrogant demeanor, I was filled with rage. In my previous life, it was her greed for my family's wealth that led her to conspire with her daughter to ruin me and cause my parents' deaths. If I remember correctly, she was the one who started that fire. I took a step forward and slapped the bird's nest soup out of her hand. Eat this! You old hag, do you know your place? You are a servant, I am the master, and you dare to order me around.
What are you standing there for? Clean up. The Smith family pays you to work. Do you think you're the master here? Let me tell you, do your job well, or get out immediately.
Linda's face turned ashen. She couldn't understand why I was trying to please her yesterday, but today I was like this.
All right, all right. I'll clean up right away.
But she didn't say much. This woman was full of schemes, hiding them well. I couldn't be bothered with her. With the lessons from my previous life, how could I be fooled by them again? Dealing with them would be easy. But I wouldn't let them off so easily. I washed up and left, taking the private car my mom had arranged for me to school. East Sea High School. The best high school in our city. Besides the top students with excellent grades, there were wealthy, influential students like me. To get me into this school, my mom spent a lot of money. But I came to this school for Emily. She was the school belle and a top student, always ranking first. As for me, I was always at the bottom, never focusing on my studies, always thinking about how to win over the school belle. I was notorious in school, the typical rich fool. Getting out of the car, I walked towards the school and saw a beautiful, graceful girl approaching. And she was Emily.
Chris, what do you mean by this?
As soon as Emily saw me, she dragged her friend Jessica over and confronted me with her hands on her hips, looking very aggressive. She was indeed very beautiful, with bright eyes and white teeth, fair skin, and eyes that sparkled like stars, exuding purity. Even though she was being fierce at the moment, she was still breathtakingly beautiful. But now, I had no interest in her at all. Seeing her only made me want to step on her face with my size 42 shoes.
What do you mean by that? Can't you speak properly? If you can't speak properly, get out of my way and don't bother me.
I snorted and turned to leave. Emily and Jessica were stunned, not expecting me to be so tough. I used to be Emily's lapdog, fawning over her day and night. 24 hours a day, wishing there were 25 hours to fawn over her. On her birthday, Valentine's Day, Dragon Boat Festival, National Day, New Year's. I would give her expensive gifts. Even on International Women's Day, I would buy her things. Whether she liked them or not. Just one day without seeing her, and my sudden change in attitude left them speechless. But Emily, being a top student, quickly recovered and blocked my way.
Did you insult my mom this morning? What right do you have to insult her?
Before she could finish, I interrupted her.
What right do I have? Your mom is a servant in my house. In ancient times, that would make her a servant. I am the master. What's wrong with insulting her? There's nothing wrong even if I reprimand her.
My words made Emily's eyes widen in shock.
How can you say such things? Does having money make you so great? Chris, you're just a useless person who relies on your parents. What are you so proud of? If you have the ability, study hard like us, that would be something to boast about.
She started to manipulate me again. In my past life, she brainwashed me like this. I once believed that I was worthless, even thinking I didn't deserve her, and fawned over her even more. I almost knelt down to lick her shoes to gain her favor. But now, I wouldn't do that anymore.
So what if I have money? So what if I flaunt it? I will flaunt it. You're right, I am a useless person. But I have money. If you have the ability, don't accept gifts from this useless person. You say you look down on people like me, but you still accept the things I buy for you. Why are you pretending to be so noble? Do you really want to be a hypocrite?
I pushed her aside and walked into the school, humming a tune. Behind me, Emily and Jessica stood there like statues, bewildered by the wind. I am not really a useless person. Dad is a leader, Mom is a business queen. How could I be a fool? I am actually very smart, but I was blinded by Emily, never taking my studies seriously. Now, I will study hard. Although being a rich second generation is nice. But having been reborn, how can I live aimlessly? So during class, I put in my best effort and focused entirely on my studies. By the end of the morning classes, although I was still behind, I had learned a lot. I believed that with some effort, I could catch up with the top students. I planned to take out my books and study during lunch break. But unexpectedly, Jessica came over to me.
Chris, what's wrong with you today? You made Emily angry.
This girl, who always treated me like a fool, taking advantage of me, still dared to come and say this to me. In the past, when I bought things for Emily and Jessica was with her, she would always make me buy things for her too. She said that to win over Emily, I had to be nice to her friend. I actually believed her nonsense.
Why should I care if she's angry?
I cursed, and although Jessica was shocked by my attitude, she still sat down and spoke earnestly.
Chris, are you foolish? How can a boy be so harsh to a girl? Emily is so beautiful, many people like her. Aren't you afraid she'll be with someone else?
She can be with whoever she wants. What does it have to do with me?
I sneered. She probably couldn't bear to lose a fool like me who spent money recklessly. Otherwise, she wouldn't have sent you to test me.
You.
Jessica was stunned, unable to believe what I said. But she quickly cleared her throat and changed the topic.
But Emily still thinks you're good, you have the best chance of winning her over. She saw a limited edition dress a few days ago, it's only $20,000. If you buy it for her, she'll be over the moon and definitely forgive you.
I laughed. She really came to fish for a sucker. I glanced back at Emily, and she arrogantly glared at me. Damn! She really is a hypocrite.
Do you really like that bag? Hey, Emily, how's it going?
Whether I like it or not is none of your business.
She turned her head, clearly not wanting to talk to me. But during lunch break, if she really didn't want to talk to me, why didn't she just leave? Why was she still sitting there? It was obvious she was waiting for me to keep flattering her.
Oh, never mind then. I was in a good mood today and had some money.
I pretended to be disappointed and turned to leave. Emily immediately got anxious, but she couldn't bring herself to show it. After all, she had gotten too comfortable with my flattery and really thought of herself as a princess. But she quickly gave Jessica a look, and the latter understood, hurriedly pulling me back.
Oh, why are you in such a hurry again? Let's go shopping after school, okay?
She winked at me, making her intentions clear. Shopping? Just what I wanted. I'll teach her a lesson today.
All right, let's go after school.
I said this and returned to my seat. Emily was overjoyed and finally left the classroom with Jessica, satisfied. During lunch, I was completely absorbed in studying. But then, I heard a bell-like laugh.
Chris, suddenly so diligent, is this really you?
The girl was Sophia, with a lovely voice and beautiful appearance, the kind that grows on you. Like me, she was also from a wealthy family, but she was much better at studying and had a pleasant personality, making her popular.
Why not me?
I smiled, and she sat down next to me, teasing.
Is it because Emily wants you to get good grades?
It was normal for her to say that. Everyone at school knew I was infatuated with Emily.
Her? She's nothing.
I sneered, feeling nauseated at the mention of her.
Huh?
Sophia was also stunned, just like Jessica and the others, shocked by my sudden change. But she didn't say much, just wished me luck and returned to her seat. I spent the entire afternoon studying diligently. My classmates were surprised, and even the teachers were astonished. After all, in the past, I would either sleep in class or pass notes to Emily, trying to please her. I even went against the teachers just to make her smile. So seeing me like this, everyone was shocked.
Has Chris changed?
Is this really him?
Does he not like Emily anymore?
They all speculated wildly, but when they saw me leaving the classroom with Emily and Jessica after school, they all rolled their eyes.
We thought he stopped being a sycophant, but he's still the same.
I just smiled without saying anything. Soon, I took Emily and Jessica to the mall. The two girls were very happy, dragging me to a boutique store and starting to pick out items.
I like this one.
Emily held up a handbag, smiling sweetly at me. This kind of smile only appeared when I was about to pay. On regular days, she wouldn't smile at all. And I was obsessed with it.
If you like it, take it.
Really? But this one costs over 30,000. But you'll buy it for me, right?
Emily batted her eyes at me, trying to charm me. I got goosebumps but nodded.
Then, go pay for it.
She pointed to the cashier. I smiled.
No rush, one handbag isn't enough. Let me see what else suits you.
I started browsing the store. Everything was high-end and ridiculously expensive. But that was just what I wanted. I picked out a few of the most expensive clothes.
These are really nice.
Emily's eyes lit up with excitement, and Jessica was envious, swallowing hard.
Oh my, these clothes add up to over 100,000. Chris, you really are something. My Emily didn't misjudge you.
I didn't respond, just measured the clothes against Emily.
They suit you perfectly. Go ahead and try them on.
I handed the clothes to Emily, who took them with trembling hands. I usually gave gifts, but it was the first time I was giving away over 100,000 at once.
Should I really try them on?
I smiled and waved the card in my hand.
Of course. Once you're dressed up, we'll go for a fancy dinner. A French dinner.
Emily was so happy she almost fainted and went straight to the fitting room. She came out shortly after. Seeing that she had removed the tags, I grinned. With luxury items, once the tags are removed, you have to buy them.
Emily, you look stunning.
Emily admired herself in the mirror. Jessica stood by, full of envy and amazement. I stood silently, yawning. At that moment, Emily happily jumped in front of me.
Chris, I forgive you for today. Pay up, and let's go for dinner.
I stood up straight, hands in my pockets, and smiled.
Pay for what?
Narrator, tone, relieved. Emily looked visibly taken aback when she heard my words.
Of course, to pay for this dress.
I'm not the one wearing the dress. Why should I pay?
Emily's face visibly changed color as she looked at me hopefully.
Emily, tone, hopeful you must be joking, right? Come on, pay for it quickly, and let's go have a big meal.
I'm not joking. Emily, do you really think I would buy you a dress? Dream on.
I decided to stop pretending and revealed my true intentions.
Emily, tone, angry you said you would buy it for me. There's surveillance here. You can't run away.
That's right, I can testify. You said you would buy it for Emily, and now you say you won't. Do you think the store will agree?
I almost laughed at their ignorance.
Chris, tone, unfriendly, you're right. There is surveillance here. But who says I can't go back on my word? I always boast. I even said I would buy the stars for you. Why hasn't anyone asked me to pay for that?
I sneered and looked at Emily with a foolish expression.
This dress is on you, and you tore off the tag, not me. Even if you call the police, it won't help. Goodbye.
I turned to leave, satisfied with my response. But Emily grabbed my arm.
Emily, tone, desperate Chris. You tricked me. You clearly said you would buy it for me. You can't afford it, can you?
Of course, I can afford it, but why should I buy it for you? Do you really think I don't know what you're up to? Trying to take advantage of me? Are you foolish?
I waved my hand.
The dress is on her, and she tore off the tag. You know who to ask for the money, right?
The store clerk came over, hearing what I said.
Store clerk, tone, serious miss, please pay, or we will have to call the police.
Emily was completely flustered, and Jessica was dumbfounded.
Emily, tone, pleading Chris, please, just help me this once. I don't have that much money. We're classmates and good friends. You won't just leave me hanging, right?
She grabbed my arm and started to act cute, her last resort.
It's not that I won't help. But for over $10,000, you have to give me something in return.
I smiled playfully.
Emily, tone, angry you had this in mind all along.
She trembled with anger.
Fine. You pay, and I'll let you hold my hand.
Not only did I laugh, but even the store clerk laughed.
Emily, listen to yourself. Holding hands for over $10,000? Are you made of gold?
Buddy, how much do you think it costs to spend a night with a beautiful girl?
At most 500, not a penny more.
I laughed. This guy was really on point.
See? You're worth 500, and you're asking for 10,000? What a joke. All right, I don't have time to waste with you. I need to go home and study. Goodbye.
I left the store without looking back. As for how Emily would pay for the dress, I didn't know. But over the past year, she and her mother had taken a lot from me, so they should be able to afford it. After turning off my phone and studying until midnight, I finally hit the bed. This was the first peaceful sleep I had since I started liking Emily. Previously, I'd stay up, waiting for her to reply to my messages. Dozens of messages sent, yet no reply. Today, I decided to let go.
Early the next morning, I went downstairs for breakfast. Linda was busy preparing a table full of food.
Young master, breakfast is ready.
She smiled nervously, sweating profusely, afraid of displeasing me. I ignored her, glanced at the food, and frowned before flipping the table over.
You useless thing. Is this what you made? Is this even edible?
Young master, I made all this. Why are you still not satisfied?
I picked up a burnt egg from the floor and shoved it into her mouth.
Satisfied? Look at what you made. You can't even fry an egg properly. What can you do?
Linda couldn't hold back her tears. I saw the anger in her eyes.
Let me tell you, don't think that just because you have a pretty daughter, you can do whatever you want. I like her, she's a woman. I don't like her, she's nothing but a lowly dog in front of me. If you think you can use her against me, dream on. And from today onwards, your salary is $3,000. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, get lost.
After saying that, I left. Emily and her mom's only source of income was from my family. $3,000 is little, but her mom will definitely continue working.
When I arrived at school, I saw Emily again.
Chris, what do you mean by this? You tricked me out of so much money yesterday. I don't care, you must give it back to me. Otherwise, I'll never talk to you again.
She crossed her arms and turned her head away, as proud as a swan. Little did she know, she was just an ugly duckling.
Isn't it just a few $1,000s? That's simple. Agree to one thing, and I'll give it to you.
Emily's eyes lit up, but she quickly responded.
Fine. But don't get any funny ideas. I'm not your girlfriend yet. You can't touch me, can't hold me, and definitely can't kiss me. My mom said that girls should respect themselves and not let any boy touch them before marriage.
Don't worry, I won't touch you. I find it dirty.
What do you mean? Are you insulting me? Chris, I'm angry.
In the past, I would immediately give in and flatter her. But now, I found it amusing.
Don't be angry. If you want to be angry, at least wait until I tell you my request.
Then say it, but don't go too far.
Simple, call me Dad, and I'll consider giving it to you.
Emily was furious.
Chris, how shameless can you be, asking me to call you Dad? Are you crazy? I will never do that.
I couldn't be bothered to argue and walked into the school.
Wait a minute.
Didn't you say you wouldn't call?
I don't want to call. Can I change the request? How about this, I'll let you hold my hand.
Seeing that hand, I wanted to cut it off. Because it was this hand that pushed me off a 100-meter-high building.
Get lost, I'm not interested anymore.
My good mood was ruined by that hand.
You jerk.
She stomped her feet in anger, but there was nothing she could do. Today, I put in another day of effort. Ever since I decided to study hard, I've been making rapid progress. Actually, studying isn't that difficult. In the afternoon, there was a small test, and I decided to give it a try. As a result, I jumped from the last place in the class to the 20th place. This rapid progress shocked everyone.
Wow, Chris, you're amazing.
Yeah, Chris, I didn't realize you've been working so hard lately.
Keep it low-key, just playing around.
Only 20th place, what's there to be proud of? 20th place is still a poor student, you can't even get into a second-tier university.
Emily walked over and started criticizing me. Seeing this, my classmates blinked and remained silent. This happened too often. Every time I did poorly on a test, Emily would come over and scold me, using her own theories to manipulate me.
Chris, you can't be complacent, understand? Do you think you're satisfied with just being 20th? I've always told you to study hard. If you really like me, then study like I do, otherwise, I won't even look at you. I like boys who are good at studying.
Oh, really impressive. Who do you think you are, just because you're first in the class? How about we make a bet? What if I get first place in the midterm exam?
I challenged her because I was confident.
You get first place?
Emily widened her eyes at me, and not just her, everyone else did too. They were clearly shocked by my words.
Chris, it's important to know your limits. If you get first place, the sun will rise from the west.
Don't worry about where the sun rises, that's not your concern. I'm betting with you. Do you dare to accept?
People need to give themselves some pressure.
Fine, I'll accept. If you don't get first place, you have to buy me a bag worth $10,000.
Her demand reeked of materialism. So vulgar.
Deal. But what if I get first place?
Say it, I'll accept whatever you propose.
Emily didn't believe I could get first place and immediately agreed. I tapped my finger on the table, thought for a moment, and then looked at her with a smile.
If I get first place, you have to dance on a pole for us.
As soon as I said that, my classmates started cheering.
Wow, this is going to be good.
The school beauty dancing on a pole. That would be amazing.
I want to be the pole.
Although Emily was a gold digger, she was beautiful, and everyone wanted to see her dance for free.
You want me to dance on a pole?
What? Are you scared? If you're scared, forget it. I can spend $10,000 to hire a bunch of girls to dance on poles, right guys?
Yeah, 10,000 can hire anyone.
Exactly. You could even get a minor celebrity.
Emily, just agree. Are you really scared of Chris's confidence?
Emily was in a tough spot, and after a moment of silence, she angrily agreed.
Fine. I'll bet.
She obviously didn't believe I could get first place. Honestly, I wasn't entirely sure either. Emily might be a gold digger, but she was really good at studying. I had to put in some serious effort. During lunch break, Sophia came over and gave me a thumbs up.
Chris, I admire you. You're a real man. But, are you just using this as another way to pursue her?
I was stunned for a moment, but then I understood what she meant. Everyone thought I would lose, and betting like this seemed like I was just trying to spend money on Emily.
How about we make a bet too?
Sure. Tell me, how do we bet?
If I lose, I'll buy you a $10,000 bag too. But if I win, you treat me to lunch for a month. How about that?
She was also from a wealthy family. Treating me to lunch for a month was nothing to her. But she refused.
I'm not a gold digger. Why would I want a $10,000 bag? Let's keep the stakes the same. If you lose, you treat me. If I lose, I treat you. That's fair.
Deal. Pinky promise.
I extended my hand, and Sophia blushed a little, hooking her pinky with mine.
Sophia, you wouldn't happen to like me, would you?
A hint of panic flashed in Sophia's eyes.
What are you talking about? Who likes you?
Look at our bet. If I lose, I treat you to a meal. If you lose, you treat me to a meal. Either way, we end up eating together.
Is that your plan?
Who has that plan? It was clearly you who suggested the bet.
I'm not talking to you anymore. I hope you lose.
She walked away angrily, but it seemed more like she was fleeing. In the following days, I doubled my efforts in studying. But I knew I was far behind, so I asked my parents to find a tutor for me. Seeing my hard work, my parents were overjoyed.
Chris has finally come to his senses. I'm so happy.
Mom always doted on me, and whenever she was happy, she would give me a lot of cash. As for Dad, he was also pleased but didn't show it the same way.
If I don't spend my money on my son, who else would I spend it on? Mind your own business. All right, I won't interfere, but this time I support you.
With a tutor, my studies improved rapidly. Even the tutor was amazed at how smart I was. Despite being so behind, I was absorbing the material quickly. My parents were even happier, and Mom gave me several $1,000s as pocket money. However, I noticed a pair of eyes watching me. It was Linda! After tutoring, I sneaked downstairs to Linda's room. She was our housekeeper and had her own room. As I got closer, I heard her talking to Emily on the phone.
Daughter, you have to work hard. That boy got a tutor and is doing really well. The tutor even praised him for being smart.
Mom, no matter how hard Chris tries, he won't be able to catch up to me. Let him study, I can still beat him with my eyes closed.
Daughter, this time it's different. He seems to be really learning. I secretly asked the tutors, and they all said Chris is learning very quickly and is very smart. If this continues, he might actually catch up to you.
I frowned. This woman was even spying on me. But it didn't matter. Let her spy. I wasn't afraid.
I got it, Mom. I'll think of something.
The call ended, and I left. Think of something? What could she possibly do to interfere with my studies? I found out the next day. This woman actually started pursuing me. Unbelievable. For a $10,000 bag, she was really willing to go all out. I had chased her for so long in my previous life, and she never agreed to be my girlfriend. Now, after a bet, she was chasing me? How dramatic.
Chris, I think I like you.
Emily walked up to me, blushing, and said this, causing the whole class to cheer.
Wow. Chris, you're amazing. You've turned the tables. Incredible. You finally got the class beauty. Chris, what are you waiting for? Go for it.
Everyone was more excited than I was. Emily looked at me with her big, expectant eyes. Seeing that I didn't respond, she handed me a love letter and ran away. I was speechless.
What? Don't recognize me?
I really don't.
Chris, you.
What? Do you think that because Emily confessed to me, I should be overjoyed and become her lapdog again?
Yes. I think that's how it should be.
I almost spat out blood. Indeed, it seemed impossible to shake off the impression of being a lapdog.
I'm not interested. Didn't you see that I threw the love letter straight into the trash?
I pointed to the trash can at my feet, and Sophia smiled.
Could it be that you really don't like Emily anymore?
What if I said yes?
Sophia was stumped by my question, staring at me with her beautiful eyes for a long time. Finally, she nodded.
I'm really impressed with you.
Don't be mad. Who told you to be so worthless before?
But now I'm relieved. I was going to tell you why Emily is pursuing you.
What do you mean?
I hurriedly asked her if she knew about the bet.
Do you know about the bet, Emily?
So, for her to say such things, there must be something else going on.
It seems you really don't know.
Sophia said something strange to me instead.
What should I know?
I blinked, genuinely puzzled.
Do you know why Emily always rejects you?
This was a question I had pondered in my previous life, but I could never figure it out.
She must be playing hard to get, right? What else could it be?
After I said this, Sophia nodded.
There is indeed a big issue here.
She cleared her throat.
Oh, I'm a bit thirsty.
I was speechless but still got up.
Let's go.
I took her to buy some milk tea, watching her drink happily with a smile, and said with a bit of frustration.
Can you tell me now?
I wanted to know about Emily.
It's actually very simple. She has fallen for someone else.
Upon hearing this, I frowned.
Emily has fallen for someone else? How come I didn't know about this?
It's a guy from outside the school, very handsome, but quite a playboy. And most importantly, he is better at wooing girls than you are, unlike you, who just throws money around.
Her words made me feel both ashamed and embarrassed.
I am, just tell me, don't insult me.
I coughed to cover my embarrassment.
She came back to you partly because of the gifts, but the main reason is that she likes that handsome guy.
After Sophia finished speaking, I still couldn't understand.
What? That handsome guy asked her to seduce me?
Smart. That's exactly it.
She gave me a thumbs up and continued.
Do you remember how much money you gave Emily and how many things you bought for her? But did you ever feel that she still didn't have money?
Upon hearing this, I suddenly remembered.
Did all the money go to that pretty boy?
I guessed, and Sophia gave me another thumbs up.
Exactly. It all went to that handsome guy. He is a master. Have you heard of the term love master?
No, I haven't.
He is a love master. Don't think it's a compliment, it's actually a derogatory term. It refers to people with rich experience and theories who manipulate women. They have specialized courses, selecting suitable girls to capture their hearts, making them deeply in love and obedient. Emily is that handsome guy's prey. And you?
Sophia didn't finish, but I understood.
Damn it! Emily is the prey, and I am also the prey? It's like a big fish eating a small fish.
I was extremely speechless, thinking how foolish I was in my previous life.
I thought I was spending money on a woman I liked, but it turned out I was supporting a pretty boy.
Wait a minute. I suddenly thought of something.
So, in my previous life, I was deceived by Emily, and there was also that handsome guy? It must be.
Emily is not a good person, and that handsome guy must not be either. They might have conspired to harm me.
Sophia, do you know the name of that handsome guy?
After I asked, Sophia was stunned.
What? Are you planning to take revenge?
Not really, just play with them a bit. Know your enemy and know yourself, and you can win every battle.
After I said this, Sophia didn't refuse.
Wait, I'll get you the information before school ends. But you have to buy me another cup of milk tea.
Sophia said with a smile, and I naturally didn't refuse. But I blinked and suddenly realized something.
Sophia seemed to care a lot about my affairs.
Could it be? She really likes me? And another thing, how does this girl know everything?
Sophia, can you tell me where you got this information?
I asked curiously.
Oh, my family has a law firm, and we handled a case like this. That handsome guy is part of that Love Master organization.
It turns out her family has a law firm, which surprised me. During the afternoon class, Emily passed me a note.
Have you thought about it, Chris? I want to be your girlfriend.
I'll consider it. But I need to know more about that handsome guy first.
Emily was a bit angry, but she couldn't afford to lose her cash cow, so she had to hold back her anger. Before school ended in the evening, my phone vibrated, and I received a message from Sophia. I opened it. Wow, it was a document, incredibly detailed.
Thumbs up emoji. Bubble tea. With extra pearls. Don't forget.
Don't worry. Double portion.
After replying, I opened the document and looked through it carefully. There were photos, and he was indeed very handsome, almost as good-looking as me. His name was Michael. Besides that, there was his profile. He hadn't attended school, started working at a young age, worked as a singer in a nightclub, and was very knowledgeable about women. Eventually, he joined an organization of so-called love experts and started manipulating female students. Emily was not his only target. The information showed that he had at least 4 or 5 targets. All of them were naive young girls. Of course, he also tried to charm wealthy women, but unfortunately, his skills were not enough. Women in society and young girls in school are two different things. The information showed that he had tried to charm a wealthy woman but ended up getting hurt, so now his main focus was on young girls in school.
Knowing this, I understood. I formulated my plan. I wanted Emily to suffer, and the best weapon was Michael.
With this in mind, I wrote a note to Emily.
I can't be your boyfriend right now.
Emily was immediately anxious. She wrote me many notes, but I didn't even look at them. When school ended in the evening, I was the first to leave. However, I didn't forget Sophia's bubble tea and messaged her, promising to get it for her tomorrow. Sophia wasn't angry.
I had the driver follow Emily from a distance, because I knew she would definitely go to find Michael. And I was right. Emily walked into a low-end bar, a place I really looked down upon. But I still followed her in. To avoid being recognized, I wore large sunglasses and a fisherman's hat.
As soon as I entered, I saw Emily not far from the entrance, shaking a man's arm. I moved closer and overheard their conversation.
What are you doing here?
Michael, I missed you. It's been so long since we last met.
Emily, who was usually so high and mighty, was now acting so desperate. It was disgusting.
I wanted to see you too, but you disappoint me. Emily, it's not that I don't want to see you, but it's been so long, and you haven't brought me any money. I feel like there's no hope in you, no future for us, so you should stop coming to see me.
Michael's words were harsh, but I had to admit, he was good at this. Living off a woman and still being so assertive. Any other woman would have slapped him by now. A man asking a woman for money, how shameless. But unfortunately, Emily fell for it.
Michael, you can't leave me. Don't worry, it's just money, right? I'll work hard, and I'll definitely show you our future. It's just... I've been in a bad state recently, but don't worry, I'll make a lot of money, just like before.
Emily promised, and Michael obviously knew she was capable.
Emily, I know you're capable. Is that rich kid still chasing you? His money is easy to get.
My face turned cold. He really knew about me.
Sigh, I don't know what happened, but that jerk rejected me. In the past, he wouldn't dare. He was like a lapdog, giving me whatever I wanted. But now... Michael, teach me how to make him obey me.
Emily finished, and Michael smiled.
That's easy. The kid is a bit tired of you. It's mainly because you are too aloof. When a dog is hungry, if you don't give it meat, at least give it a bone, right? He hasn't gotten anything from you, so naturally, he's tired of you. Listen to me, go back and be more intimate with him. Hug him, kiss him, even sleep with him if you have to. He'll definitely come back to you.
My face was dark. What a cunning plan! He analyzed it so thoroughly. In my previous life, I was won over bit by bit like this. I became more and more devoted. The day I slept with Emily, I felt like the world was mine. I was so excited that I forgot how my parents suddenly got sick and ended up in the hospital. Thinking about it now, Emily must have poisoned my parents, afraid I'd find out, so she immediately slept with me to distract me. Thinking of this, I clenched my fists, wanting to rush over and deal with these two. But I held back. Not to mention I couldn't do anything drastic, even just beating them up wasn't worth it. I'm a privileged kid. Getting into trouble over two insignificant people isn't worth it. They don't deserve it. After Michael finished speaking, Emily seemed a bit unwilling.
Michael, I don't want to be affectionate with that jerk. I'm yours. I feel sick just looking at him. You have no idea. Every time he touches my hand, I have to wash it 10 times. Otherwise, I feel dirty.
Hearing this, I was almost furious. Wash 10 times? Do I have some contagious disease? But I couldn't be bothered with this.
Emily, I know you've suffered for me, but don't worry, I'll treat you well in the future.
Michael's casual words made Emily's heart flutter.
Can I be with you tonight?
Emily's eyes were shining with anticipation. Was she offering herself? I thought she was so noble. Turns out she's just a hypocrite.
Emily, I'm very busy today. You go home first, I'll find you in a couple of days when I have time.
After Michael finished speaking, although Emily was reluctant, she obediently left.
Damn it, this worthless woman. She can't even handle a dumb rich kid. And she wants me to be with her? Slut!
As soon as she left, Michael's expression changed, and he started cursing. Seeing this, I smirked. This is good. I should be able to handle this situation. Just as I was about to take a car home, Emily called. I smiled, she really is obedient. Like a slave following orders. I could have ignored it, but I wanted to see how far she would go.
Hello!
Chris, why didn't you respond to me? Do you want to be my boyfriend or not?
Her voice was so sweet and innocent that anyone who didn't know her would be captivated. Unfortunately, I already knew her true nature.
Now is the time to focus on studies. How can you think about dating? Emily, have you fallen so low?
I held back my laughter and spoke calmly. These were the exact words she used to say to me in the past. Every time I pursued her and confessed my feelings, she would say things like this, acting like a saint, rejecting me, teaching me, while keeping me hooked, spending my money, and accepting my gifts. Now, I returned her words, leaving Emily speechless. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. I waited to see what she would say. Her response made me laugh out loud.
Chris, I like you. How can liking someone be falling low?
These were my lines. Every time she rejected me, I would say this. I never thought the tables would turn like this.
Why are you laughing? Chris, don't you want to be with me? If you agree to be with me, I can promise you one thing.
What condition?
I can let you kiss me. But not on the lips, only on the cheek.
I laughed. I find her face disgusting, why would I want to kiss it?
No need, I'm not interested in your face. Or in you.
With that, I hung up the phone. Rejecting her was just to see her next move. If she couldn't get anything from me for a long time, Michael wouldn't be happy either. That's what I really wanted. After going home, I focused entirely on my studies, not caring about her and Michael's affairs. Now, I could play with them however I wanted. But the college entrance exams were coming up. I still wanted to get good grades. As for dealing with them, I had plenty of time. Days passed, and my grades improved rapidly. As for Emily, she was always distracted, her performance plummeting. Others didn't know why, but I did. That pretty boy must be tormenting her. She didn't get a penny from me, Michael wouldn't spoil her. I couldn't be bothered with it, just watching her downfall quietly. Soon, it was exam time. I wrote with confidence, the knowledge I had learned flashing through my mind like a slideshow. During this time, I had worked tirelessly, and it paid off. The results came out quickly. I smiled. Seeing my name, Chris, at the top of the rankings, I was surprised but not really.
This can't be? This is impossible.
Emily was completely stunned, seeing herself drop out of the top 5 to 6th place. 6th place was a blow to her. Me being first was an even bigger blow.
Emily, a bet is a bet. Tomorrow we will watch the pole dance, don't go back on your word.
I chuckled and walked away gracefully.
Do you think Emily will really do it?
Hey, whether she does it or not doesn't matter to me. I don't even like watching.
I truly didn't care. The bet was just a way to put pressure on myself.
Besides, I didn't think she would do it. A school beauty doing a pole dance? That would be crazy.
Really don't want to watch.
Really don't want to watch. Why would I lie to you?
But don't forget, you owe me a month's worth of meals.
I waved at her and got into the car.
When I got home, I looked around and noticed something was off.
As expected, Linda had moved some things in the house. She secretly took things, thinking I wouldn't notice. But I couldn't be bothered to say anything. Today, Emily would definitely talk to her mom about something. Recently, those two have been plotting something. The reason is simple: Linda couldn't make much money in my house anymore, so she had to come up with ideas for her daughter. She thought she could win the first place and get a $10,000 bag, but she lost to me. I quietly approached Linda's room and heard the mother and daughter talking on the phone.
Daughter, how did you end up in 6th place? What happened? The $10,000 are gone.
Who knew he would suddenly study so well? Mom, what should I do? He hasn't been paying attention to me lately. How can I get money from him?
Do as I say. If it doesn't work, charm him.
Linda's tone was firm.
Then I'll go to the Smith family and argue. We can definitely get some money.
Are you crazy? Get the money first, or Michael won't want you either.
Linda said angrily, and Emily reluctantly agreed and hung up the phone. I sneered inwardly. So, they were planning to use such underhanded tactics? Fine. I'll play along. Soon, Emily called me, begging me not to make her do the pole dance.
Chris, please, don't make me do it.
Okay, you don't have to do it.
Really? Chris, you still like me.
Like you? No way.
Chris, can I see you now? Just to celebrate you getting first place?
Sure, let's celebrate. Give me a location, and I'll pick you up. But you have to dress nicely and look pretty.
After hanging up, I went back to Linda's room and heard Emily calling her.
Mom, I've arranged to meet him. I'll take him to a hotel, and you come to save me. I really don't want him to touch me.
Good plan, dear.
Linda quickly agreed. I smirked. They thought they could outsmart me? Ridiculous. I went downstairs, got into the sports car my mom bought me, and drove off. Soon, I picked up Emily outside the school dormitory. She had dressed up, looking very beautiful, with her long legs exposed, wearing black stockings and a very short skirt. Any slight movement could reveal her undergarments.
Where are we going?
I'm taking you somewhere.
I drove straight to the most chaotic bar in the city. This place often had incidents of people being taken advantage of. Tonight, I would make sure Emily's reputation was ruined.
Great.
She didn't refuse, and soon we arrived. I booked a private room and went out to order drinks. But before that, I had already arranged with the waiter to serve me soda while giving Emily strong liquor.
Chris, cheers to you. Congratulations on getting first place. You're getting better and better. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. I'll never say anything bad about you again. I'm willing to be your girlfriend, your little kitten.
She drank a glass and started sweet-talking me. I smiled and drank too, but mine was just soda. Soon, after a few glasses, Emily was a bit tipsy.
Chris, can we go somewhere else to rest? I'm dizzy.
She leaned on me, clearly hinting at going to a hotel. How could I not know?
Let's have a few more drinks. I called the driver, and we'll go to a hotel later.
Okay, but be gentle with me tonight.
Gentle? We'll see how lucky you are tonight. If you encounter a couple of big guys, you might not be able to get out of bed tomorrow.
Sure,
I said, and after a few more drinks, she was done. The strong liquor had a powerful effect, and she was already wobbling. Seeing this, I smirked and left.
Serious, as I walked out the door, I noticed several men eyeing the room. I pretended to feel dizzy and left. As for what happened next, well, that's beyond my control. Emily, you better take care of yourself.
However, I secretly took out my phone and hid in the shadows. Before long, someone indeed went in to chat with Emily, who was barely conscious. Eventually, they carried her on their shoulder and headed upstairs. The video ended there. I casually went home.
Surprised, young master, why are you back?
Unfriendly, what, am I not supposed to come back?
Puzzled, no. It's just that. Emily said you two went out to have fun?
Serious, yes, we had a few drinks, and then I felt a headache and came back.
Worried, and Emily?
Unfriendly, I don't know. She has arms and legs, why ask me?
I went back to my room, logged onto the school's website, and found a hacker friend. I anonymously posted the video. Famous school beauty drunk at a bar, goes to a room with someone. The post instantly blew up the forum. Countless likes poured in, and within minutes, it had over 100,000 views. I didn't care and closed my laptop. Unfortunately, early the next morning, I was woken up by a commotion.
Shouting, the Smith family must take responsibility for my daughter. You can't just ignore this.
I opened the door to see what was happening. Before I could say anything, Linda rushed at me.
Angry, it's all your fault. You got my daughter drunk, and now this happened.
Shouting, what are you talking about? What does this have to do with me?
My mom quickly came over and pulled me aside.
Serious. Chris, does this have anything to do with you?
Serious, Mom, I did drink with Emily yesterday, but I came back afterward. She has legs. If she went to a room with someone else, how is that my fault? I didn't force her to go, and I didn't make her drink. I think she just wanted some excitement and got caught on camera.
My mom squinted her eyes and nodded.
Serious. Let's report this to the police, Linda. Let them determine if my son is involved.
Linda was stunned. This kind of situation could go either way, and given our family's influence compared to theirs.
Defeated, you.
Linda sat down on the ground, defeated. I couldn't be bothered with her and went to school as usual. But Emily didn't come today. She was probably shocked by her own video this morning. When I got to class, everyone was excited about the video from yesterday.
Excited. Emily always seemed so pure, but who knew she was like this?
Cheerful, yeah, look at what she was wearing, black stockings and a mini skirt. She was asking for it.
Unfriendly. Unbelievable. Who knew our school beauty was like this?
The video was incredibly popular. Many people asked me if I knew what happened. I just shook my head.
Unfriendly, nothing to do with me.
However, in the afternoon, the police did come to ask me about it. I told them the truth, that we drank, but I didn't know what happened afterward. I admitted to drinking with her, but her going to a room with someone else had nothing to do with me.
Serious, it was you, wasn't it?
Unfriendly, don't falsely accuse a model student.
Angry, you a model student? That's a joke. You won't be first next time.
She was second in the last exam. In the following days, Emily didn't show up. But Jessica did come to find me.
Hopeful, Chris, please help Emily. She's facing expulsion for violating school rules. If you don't help her, her life will be ruined.
Unfriendly, why are you telling me this? What does it have to do with me? I'm not her dad.
Sad, please, you don't know what happened that night. Emily was taken advantage of by 3 men. Those 3 men disappeared afterward. But Emily is expecting a child. Michael doesn't want her anymore. If you don't help her, she really has nowhere to go.
Angry, Jessica, let me tell you. I want her to suffer. If I could, I'd end her misery myself. She deserves everything that's happening to her.
Jessica was at a loss for words after what I said. In the end, she could only sigh and return to her seat. Soon, the school's announcement came out, and Emily was indeed expelled. There was no other choice, the impact of the video was too significant. The school wouldn't tarnish its reputation. Moreover, even if the school didn't expel her, would she have the courage to attend classes? Certainly not. Soon, the college entrance exams arrived. I participated with a focused mind. After the exams, my classmates suggested a gathering. As a wealthy second generation, I generously treated everyone to a fun time. We went to a high-end club.
Chris, you're amazing. Such a big spender.
Chris is the best. The most handsome in the universe.
Stop flattering me. It's making me sick.
Amidst the banter, we found a private room. However, just then, the door was pushed open and 7 or 8 beautiful girls walked in.
Mr. Zhao, these are the hostesses we've prepared to liven up the atmosphere. They could do pole dancing, belly dancing, anything you want.
I was a bit surprised by this. This wasn't my arrangement. But I didn't mind until I looked up and saw a pair of evasive eyes. That face, I knew it all too well. Emily. Not only was I stunned, but my classmates were also shocked. At that moment, Emily, dressed in a bunny girl outfit, stood there looking flustered and helpless, glancing at us, her old classmates. Without hesitation, she turned to run. But the manager grabbed her.
Damn it, you think you can run? You ungrateful woman. It's your luck to dance for Mr. Zhao.
A loud slap landed on her face. Emily immediately burst into tears. Honestly, seeing her like this, I didn't feel any pity. I just wanted to enjoy my meal, so I waved my hand.
Let them go, we're having a clean dinner.
The manager then led them out, but we could still faintly hear his angry scolding.
Damn it, you must have offended Mr. Zhao and ruined his mood. Your salary for this month is gone.
My classmates looked at me, but I just smiled.
Let's eat. What are you looking at? I'm treating today.
They tactfully avoided mentioning what had just happened. Only Sophia looked at me and whispered,
You haven't forgiven her yet?
Should I forgive her?
Sophia didn't say anything but winked at me. Not to mention my fate in the previous life. In this life alone, she treated me like a fool, spent my money, insulted me, and even kept a lover. The fact that I didn't retaliate was already merciful. After that meal, I didn't see Emily again. Of course, I didn't bother to look for her. As for Linda, she had long resigned, and I didn't inquire about what she was doing. Their lives were ruined. Because Sophia told me that Emily and Michael hadn't cut ties. Emily's job was arranged by Michael. A hostess. With enough money, she could even go out with clients. Soon, it was time for the results to be announced. I ranked first in the school and got into Tsinghua University. Sophia went abroad. I was stunned. Why did she go abroad? I called her, but she didn't answer. Instead, she sent me a long message.
Chris, I've always liked you, but you were blinded by Emily, so I was worried about you and got close to you. But now you've grown, and I want to pursue my dreams. I like you, but I don't know if you like me. If you do, I'll come back in 3 years, and we can be together.
I laughed. This silly girl.
Okay, 3 years later, let's meet.
Entering university, I dedicated myself to my studies. Despite the attention from various girls, my heart belonged to Sophia. Our moments together, from lunch dates to her dragging me for milk tea, were precious.
I think she has feelings for me.
Over 3 years, I believe Sophia was testing me. When she returns, I won't let her off easily. Then, I heard about Emily through Jessica.
Chris, Emily's in a really bad situation now. She's obsessed with Michael.
That scumbag. What's he done to her?
He's draining her, Chris. She's supporting him and tolerating his infidelity. She's lost her former beauty and had several procedures because of him.
Jessica's words revealed the harsh reality. Emily's choices led her to this point.
She had a near-fatal procedure recently. Michael didn't even give her money for treatment. I had to help her.
It's her karma.
A year and a half later, Michael fled, leaving Emily to repay his debts. She was forced into a certain line of work. I saw her at a bar, unrecognizable with heavy makeup and a stout figure.
Hey handsome, want a drink? Or maybe something else? I can do any position you want, even the royal treatment.
No thanks.
I drove away without a word. Later, I heard Emily was taken abroad, her life essentially over. After graduating, I received news about Sophia. At the airport, she was more beautiful and graceful than ever.
I want milk tea. Double pearls.
Sure.
We laughed, pulling her into my life. We married and had children. Emily became a distant memory until a call from the police station.
What happened? Who called?
The police station. They want me to identify a body.
You? Who is it?
Emily.
Emily had suffered greatly, becoming a shadow of her former self. She had no family left, and before she passed, she signed my name for handling her body and left a note apologizing to me.
Are you going?
Are you kidding? No way.
The end.